Kevin Gordon here from Autosavant.com, coming to you from the 2012 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. A two-door Jeep, which is getting to be a rarer and rarer thing these days, and that's a bit unfortunate, because if you really want something that's capable off-road, it really doesn't get much better than this. The 2012 Wrangler is outfitted with the new Pentastar V6, and it really is a good engine for the Jeep. I think all the traditional Jeep enthusiasts were a little bit nervous about going to a more modern and less sort of base torquey engine, but really the Pentastar does very, very well in the Wrangler. It does everything you could ever want from it. It makes a ton of power and really has dramatically improved the economy of the Wrangler. You've had a chance to drive a lot of cars off-road today, and I think the one difference between the Wrangler and almost everything else we've driven, which is, Land Rovers, Toyotas, and Nissans, is this does give you the most comfort that you're not going to break it in half if you are a little more aggressive with it off-road than the rest. As far as ultimate capability, it's really hard to tell. I mean, I hate to say it, but pushing any of these cars to their absolute limits and figuring out what stops them requires, in all honesty, just extreme tactics. Now, sure, you could go stick them all in a big mud hole and figure out which one gets stuck first, or put them all on gravelly roads that are steep and figure out which can't climb a hill. But as far as real off-roading, when you're in the woods or out in the desert and you need to get from point A to point B, it would take some real guts to try to push any of these to their absolute extreme limits. So the other thing that separates the Rubicon from everything else that we've driven today are the tires. It's got a real set of off-road tires on it, and it is a bit amazing what a difference that makes. As far as driving through ruts, the Jeep just tracks where you point it, in comparison to things with less aggressive tires on them that follow along at the bottom of the rut, sort of independent of where you have the steering wheel pointed. This one, with a decent list of options, hardtop, navigation, stereo, that kind of stuff, comes in at $37,000. But the off-road components that they bake into the Rubicon really would make it difficult to build a lesser of one of the model Jeeps into something this capable for the same price. Part of what makes the base, and by base I mean two-door Wrangler, so special is the fact that the wheelbase is as short as it is. So as the ruts have gotten deeper and deeper throughout the day, it's been an interesting lesson that the front locker and the tires that are on the Rubicon seem to be the one vehicle that actually have the capability to drive right next to the ruts without just sliding into the bottoms of them. And actually what it's typically been doing is allowing the fronts to stay up on the ridges until you let it fall in. And actually we'll see if we can drive it back out. It drives out so nicely out of the ruts. Really, so now we're basically crabbing, where you'll notice I've got the steering wheel turned probably about 15 degrees to the left, and we're just progressing along. I'll just let the fronts fall in again. Let's see if we can get them back out. There we go. Come on, there you go. So this is actually a lot of fun. Again, not the most of extreme things, but it is interesting to see how capable a Rubicon really winds up being. So the last time we had a Wrangler, I said, if you're going to drive one on the road exclusively, don't. go buy something else. And I stand by that. You know, it pisses off the Jeep faithfuls, which is fine and understandable. You know, it's a Jeep thing, and I clearly don't understand. But there is one thing that I failed to point out the last time I reviewed a Jeep, and that's the fact that if you want something capable off-road that's also a convertible, it's your choice. And, you know, the removable top is a really nice feature if you live in a place where you can take advantage of it. Now, with that being said, with the hardtop, it makes it a far more livable place to be on a daily basis. But it also makes it a bit of a pain in the ass to take the top off. Now, it's true, people go and install lifts in their garage to get around it, but that's a lot of work as far as I'm concerned. Nope, not gonna do it. So honestly, I think if I had it my way and I was buying one of these, it would be a Rubicon to get all the off-road goodies that this one comes with. But it would actually be a soft top Rubicon. And it's true you give up some on-road sort of livability as a result of the soft top, but come on. Here we go. But the ease of removing that top without having a large fiberglass thing that you've now got to leave laying in your garage seems more than worth it. You know, there's just other benefits to the short wheelbase of this. Getting around trees is easy. The width of it is as friendly as far as an off-road vehicle as you're going to find. A lot of the things that unfortunately make it, you know, less than friendly on the road really do make it impressive off-road. It's one of those things. If you've driven Jeeps on the road and never really taken them off-road, you can never really quite understand how good and how capable they can be. See how we do with the articulation zone here. Man, those solid axles do as good of a job as anything with this stuff. They really, detachable sway bars that allow an enormous amount of articulation and wheel travel on all four corners. And we got a right rear wheel off the ground, left front off the ground, back on the ground, and now we'll go into our big lean angle here. Let it drop in. Got a left rear tire off the ground right now. Very nicely done. So, here you go, the 2012 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. I'm Kevin Gordon from AutoSavant.com. I look forward to talking to you guys soon.